Welcome to TME314, Tour and Travel. So for today, we're going to discuss Element 1, Obtain Information on Travel and Tour Industry. Under Element 1, we have Element 1.1, and the title is To Identify the Role of a Travel Agent and Importance of Customer Service. For this chapter, we're going to discuss who wants to work in a travel and tour, or sino ba yung mga, or bakit ba yung mga tao ay gusto magtrabaho sa isang travel agency. And ano ba yung dapat na knowledge na meron sila dapat? And ano yung importance ng customer service sa isang tao, pati sa isang business? And next, we're going to also discuss what is really a good service. Ano nga ba yung understanding nyo pag sinabing good service? And ano ba yung dapat magkaroon ka bilang isang empleyado kung paano ka makikitungo sa isang customer? And then for this chapter, we're going to learn that service exists primarily during those moments when you are face-to-face with your customers. So lahat ng yan ay pag-aaralan natin. The foundation. What does a travel agent do? Being polite and friendly are the attributes that provide a very solid foundation on which to build excellent customer service. While travel agents may rely successfully on this intuitive skill in dealing with most customers, an added edge is obtained by using knowledge of proven customer contact techniques. Tandaan niyo palagi na first impression lasts. Lalo na pag sa business, kailangan palagi tayong approachable, magalang, friendly sa customer at higit sa lahat, dapat palagi tayong nakangiti. Hindi din tayo dapat namimili ng customer na dapat i-entertain. The moment you saw a customer na gustong pumasok sa isang travel agency or business, dapat siyang i-welcome. Kasi nakita ng customer kung totoo or hindi ba yung sinasabi mo. In the case of angry, upset, or otherwise difficult customers, a degree of assertiveness, which does not come easily to many people, helps maintain control of a difficult situation. Hindi maiwasan sa isang negosyo na maka-encounter ka ng nagagalit or naiinis na pasahero or guest. What you need to do is first, you need to stay calm. Humingi ng pasensya agad, huwag sabayan ng galit ng customer, identify the problem, and listen to him or her respectfully and politely. At hanggat kaya mong i-resolve yung problem, do your best. Hindi dapat sa lahat ng oras o problema, tinatawag mo agad ang manager mo para tulungan ka. Tatawagin mo lang yung manager nyo kapag after magawin yung solution, ay gusto pa din talaga makausap ng customer yung manager niya. Your role is the behavior resulting from a combination of two types of behavior. One type is being more or less assertive. The other is being more or less sensitive to others. Assertive individuals are able to get their point across without upsetting others or becoming upset themselves. Pag sinabi mo more assertive, ibig sabihin, confident ka sa bawat kilos at sinasabi mo, while less assertive yung mga taong nahihiya or walang tiwala sa sarili or hindi confident sa bawat sinasabi nila or kinikilos nila. Sa isang business, hindi pwedeng ang mga salitang hindi ko sigurado kasi unacceptable yan. Kailangan kapag may tinanong or sinabi ka, tama at alam mo yung sinasabi mo. Otherwise, yung trust ng isang customer or co-employee mo ay nawawala. And dapat kapag alam mong tama, dapat ipaglaban mo. Difference of feeling served versus being served. Being served means you see them serving you. Ibig sabihin, nakikita mo na pinagsisilbihan ka, while feeling served means you don't just see but feel you are being served. Ibig sabihin, hindi lang nila pinapakita na importante ka kundi pinaparamdam din nila. Being more or less assertive, not aggressive, and being more or less sensitive with each individual customer. Being assertive means being able to stand up for your own or other people's rights in a calm and positive way without being either aggressive or passively accepting wrong. Assertive individuals are able to get their points across without upsetting others or becoming upset themselves or sa sarili nila. The two types of customers. First, leisure travelers, and second is business travelers. Leisure travelers are customers who may want to travel. However, they may also use their disposable income to buy other products or services. And the role of a travel agent is to turn a prospective leisure traveler into a client. For leisure travelers, budget is an important factor when making a decision. And also, pag sinabi mong business traveler, ibig sabihin, their main focus is on recreation, entertainment, sports, and other form of tourism, while business travel is more limited. While limited, because generally, these are individuals who are working while traveling, but are doing so away from work and home. And also, business travelers are on the other hand, have have time to travel, but limited. They may want efficient and effective attention to their needs. And mostly, business travelers are sponsored by their own companies. What is the purpose of your travel agency? First, the purpose of your travel agency is to be attentive and responsive to customer needs. If there are no customers, there is no business. They are the only reason your agents exist. Your business exists because of your customers. Pag wala sila, wala din kikitain yung negosyo nyo or business nyo. Once na may nag-inquire kahit di ka sigurado kung bibili, treat them as a paying customer palagi and let them feel that they are important. Next, it is extremely easy to lose customers and very difficult and expensive to replace those you lose if you are not attentive and responsive to the needs and expectations of your customers. They will take their business to someone else. They always have the choice. Their money goes where service exists. Magkamani ka lang ng isa, malaki na agad yung impression na yun para sa isang customer. Sabi ko nga before, first impression last. You need to do your best to keep your potential and loyal customers. Third, as traditionally stated, your role is to satisfy customer needs. However, your role is not just to satisfy the needs of your customers. It is to respond professionally so customers feel served and are happy to deal with you again, even if they did not get exactly what they wanted. Sabi nga natin sa previous discussion natin, kailangan feeling served palagi ang customer. Ibig sabihin, hindi mo lang basta pinapakita sa customer na importante sila, pero pinaparamdam mo rin. While being served is nakikita nila na pinagsisilbihan mo sila. Next, refer back to the introduction to this reading manual. When you are doing sales type of work, your goal is to keep customers. It's very important for any company na makapag-build ng loyal na customer or what we call the suki system. Pag sinabi mong suki, once na may kailangan siyang bilhin, ang unang-unang pupuntahan or pagtatanungan niya ay yung business nyo dahil na-satisfied siya sa service or product na binili or binibili niya. Importance of customer service compared with other industries. Travel agent success is based upon selling an abstract product and service. During your macro perspective of tourism, we identify product as tangible. Ibig sabihin, nakikita or nahawakan. While service is intangible, meaning it cannot be seen, but you can feel the service na binibigay or binili mo. Next, the role is challenging to respond professionally, so customers will return and bring or recommend friends and relatives. One of the most effective way to market your business is through word of mouth. Kaya nga, when dealing with your customers, it's very important that you provide quality and world-class service. Kasi in return, yung mga customers mo na nasa-satisfied sa trabaho mo na pinapakita mo is i-recommend kayo sa mga kaibigan or even kakilala nila. Customers are the most important person in any organization, not dependent on us, but we depend on them. Not an interruption of our work, but the purpose of it. Doing us a favor by asking for our help, we aren't doing them a favor by providing service. Not outsiders to our organizations, but treat them as they are part of it. Not cold statistics, they have feelings and emotions too, so be sensitive. Not persons with whom to argue or match wits. Persons who have needs, our job is to respond to them. Persons who deserve courteous and attentive treatment. The purpose of our work, they are the reason or person who account for our income. Without them, our business would suffer. And they are the lifeblood of every organization. High cost of losing a customer. The Technical Assistance Research Program Incorporated, located in Washington, D.C., reports that on the average for every customer who bothers to complain, 26 others with problems remain silent or hindi na lang nagrereklamo. The average wrong customer will tell 8 to 16 people, over 10% tell 20 or more. 91% of unhappy customers will not purchase from you again or hindi na bibili. If you make an effort to remedy customer complaints, maybe 82 to 95% will stay. It costs about 5 times as much to attract new customers as it costs to keep old ones. Mas mahirap mag-retain ng isang loyal na customer compared sa humanap ng panibago or bagong customer. What is really good service? It is not a single event, it is a process that requires active, willing, and competent participation of all employees. Good service is not measured by one single service alone, but it's measured on the totality of the services. For example, excellent hotel service is measured based on good accommodation, food, services, and attitude of the workers, and not just in just one factor alone. Next, service that is customer driven, that is the customer's perspective influences decision making by the agency, will allow customers to experience more than simply being served. Their satisfaction is the ultimate measure of your success in having a positive impact. By customer driven service, it means that the first thing to do is to always satisfy your customer needs and not yourself. It is not us who will say, ang galing ko, but it's the customer who will say, ang galing mo. Customers want to do business with people who make them feel good about themselves and their decisions. The way you help to solve a dilemma or problem is just as important as its outcome, because it will determine the outcome. One may maintain a file on each customer's preferences, which might include the following. Perhaps they prefer small hotels, or maybe they prefer cheaper or shorter rate, or they even prefer to travel at certain times of the year, so you could be on the lookout for deals for them or yung mga promo. Perhaps they prefer you to deliver their tickets to their home. Having technical competence give you the ability to provide service so that the customer is being served, while having interpersonal competence give you the ability to provide service at a level where the customer actually feels served. For example, customers know which tour guide is technically competent on her job. Customers who were feel served will give bigger tip compared to customers who felt they were being served. Each employee is part of the chain of events that end in the customer's decision as to whether the service was good or bad. This linkage is a service or the basis for really good service. The customers experience really good service when they receive more than they expect. Providing service at this level to a customer rewards you with a feeling of accomplishment and satisfaction in your work. When you have information or a customer profile, your contact with customers is based upon your knowledge of their preferences. For example, in a hotel, for example, the hotel staff must know who their customers are, starting from the driver fetching the customers, then the housekeeper who maintains the hotel cleanliness, the politeness of the elevator operator, down from the culinary skills of the chef, and the smartness of the front desk personnel and many other staff. They all play an important role in giving the customers a totally wholesome hotel experience. This makes a difference between coming home after a busy day and being energized instead of upset. When you use practices that help you to work with customers, you satisfy both the customer and yourself. For example, imagine coming home from work. You will be able to sleep well if you satisfied in your service both your customers first and then yourself. Where does service exist? It is the interface or contact between a customer and a travel agent when the customers make their assessment of the service received. It is the moment of truth for the travel agency. Kung nasatisfy ba or hindi yung customer nila. Service may take 5 seconds, 5 minutes, or half an hour. Whatever it takes, it is critical to the success of the travel agency. Also, it occurs at each involvement the customer has with all the employees of the agency. So it is a repetitive and cumulative. Thus, the customer opinion of your service is always a consideration. You are continuously on trial for your reputation, your job and life of your agency. So whatever the comment or suggestion of the customer, you need to give importance to it. Determine each contact point a customer may have with the service offered by your organization. The initial phone call, the first visit to your premises, follow-up visits, and even the contact made by friends and colleagues of your customers. Service is the best form of advertising when properly in place. When the first moment that your phone rang, you need to take it seriously, as if the call is very important to you, as if para siyang paying customer na. Kahit hindi mo pa alam kung bibili ba siya or hindi, dahil nag-i-inquire pa lang siya. So treat your customer right, politely, and respectively. What are the parts of the process of providing customer service? Number one, you need to acknowledge the customer. The following list identify things to observe and steps you can take to ensure you're properly acknowledging the presence of your customer. This will also allow you to get a good start in dealing with your customer and in creating a good first impression. Remember, first impression last. Number two, focus on the customer and pay attention to the following. Tone of your voice, kung seryoso ba or hindi yung kausap mo, or kung masaya ba or hindi yung kausap mo. Volume of speech, is it too loud or is it too soft? Speed of speech, slow or fast ba? Dress manner and bearing, ibig sabihin, dapat damit mo pa lang, may dating ka na dapat. Number three, the image of being an agency that supports customer focus is enhanced by the following. Greeting them with a friendly, hospitable statement. Anticipating their needs by active listening and questioning. Showing empathy to their expectation. Using product knowledge to support their needs. Attending the customers by using positive language. Referring them properly to someone who can help if you are unable to do so. Number four, receive the customer and be aware of the agency structure, policies, procedures, rules, and practices. The highlights of the services provided by your agency, how your services is relate to their needs and interests. Number five, and to be sensitive to your customer needs, you must be able to quickly acknowledge a customer's presence or inquiry. Use name when appropriate. Use one customer's name when you are able. Stop other activities and focus to your customer. Provide undivided attention to the customer. Make eye contact as culturally appropriate. Eye contact means you are serious to the person you are referring to or you're talking to. Be friendly and show interest. Number six, listen and establish rapport by using listening techniques such as active, selective, and responsive listening. Question techniques like open and close-ended. As stated by Rebecca Morgan in Calming Upset Customers, some experts claim we make decisions about people within the first 4 seconds of our meeting them. May Alexander, president of Professional Impact in Santa Cruz, California, says, if you are in position where you are likely to interact with angry customers, you have a chance to use your image as an effective tool. For example, if you are the driver and you hear the customer complaining, don't act in your identity as a driver. Instead, act in your image as a loving father. Another example, in a travel agency, if a customer is requesting for your travel advice, advise them not just an agent, but advise them like being a brother or sister who've been in that destination. Rebecca Morgan comments in Calming Upset Customers that personal presentation is one of the things that can irritate upset person. If they feel your grooming and dress are unprofessional or inappropriate, they are more likely to be aggressive with you. When you're properly groomed, customers will be able to have a pleasant experience with you by looking how professional you are dressed or sometimes describe you as a person. That's why as early as now, we're implementing strict grooming etiquette in preparation for your future job or career. The following areas of personal presentation may have a negative influence on an upset person. Make sure your hair is clean, brushed, or combed. Makeup is applied neatly and moderately. Clothing is pressed, neat, clean, and in well tailored. Hands and fingernails are clean, no cheap polish. Breath is fresh, stockings are run free, face is shaved or mustache, beard is neatly trimmed. Customers report that the most frustrating aspect of service is the failure of service providers to quickly acknowledge their presence. So make sure to properly acknowledge your customers. Validating the customer's needs. Use listening techniques. People tend to rate listening as the most important communication skill we have never been taught. The following three types of listening techniques are practical illustrations of different approaches to ensure you pay attention to your customer. We have nonverbal, which is using actions, and verbal using words. For example, in nonverbal, if you smile, this means I see in verbal. Then eye contact means in verbal. When simply nodding your head, it means you understand. And then for taking notes, it means that you are interested. So please go on. Selective listening. You can select facts that appear more appropriate and ask questions to obtain precision. Sample phrases are the following. To get back to what you were just saying, if we concentrate on the aspect you mentioned before, you said that at the beginning that C. Responsive listening. This allows you to demonstrate empathy or what other feels, care and interest. Use paraphrasing to assure your understanding of the situation. The sample phrases that you can use are the following. In other words, let me see if I understand. What I think you mean is, and end by asking a verification question such as, is that it? Is it right? Is it more or less what you just said? Aside from listening techniques, we can also use questioning techniques. Under questioning techniques, you can use open-ended and closed-ended question. What is open-ended question? Open-ended question is a question that cannot be answered by a yes or no response. With a static response, open-ended questions are phrased as a statement which requires a response or explanation. Example, why you don't have a pen? This requires a valid explanation, while close-ended question can be answered with a simply yes or no. Aside from For our last topic for Element 1.1, providing support, greatest impact VIP service. Here, the travel agent must review the possible solutions with the customer. If the customer did not respond to the solution offered, go over the details again and make certain you obtain step-by-step agreement. Here are a few approaches that may be of some help. First, paraphrase the customer's request. Have the customers write down the information you provide. Third, ask the customer to repeat the key points. Fourth, have the customer state his or her possible solutions that he want or need. Fifth, a good opening statement with customers helps to create a good climate, and a good closure with them will mark the difference between barely satisfied and enthusiastic. Last, provide product knowledge is often a key to giving good support to customers. Ask the customers how you can provide more information about your products and services. And that ends element 1.1.